What's going on, everyone? My name is Matt and welcome to day 19 of Vlogmas. Now, for today's video, I originally had planned for me to talk about my favourite TV shows, but then I saw a video by Amazing Phil recently that inspired me to mix it up a little bit. So I'll leave Phil's video in the description that inspired me, and he basically spoke about his favourite anime TV shows and whether or not he'd survive if he was in the world of that TV show. So I thought instead of just talking through my past and present favourite TV shows, I thought I'd do the same thing as that and talk about whether or not I'd actually survive in that universe. Now, to start, my favourite TV show of all time by a long stretch is SpongeBob. And if we're thinking practically, no, I wouldn't survive in that world because it's underwater, let's be real. But then in SpongeBob, they drink underwater, they do all kinds of things that you can't actually do underwater, like talk, for a start. A video idea that is actually looming on my video ideas list is something along the lines of 10 things that SpongeBob has taught me. So do you think that's a good idea? If you do, then let me know in the comments and I'll try and come up with a nice looking list. But hey, I'm pretty sure I could live the life. I could wake up every day for 40 plus years and work at the Krusty Krab flipping Krabby Patties. I feel like if you just keep a positive attitude, then it would be quite easy to live in that world. If you're a Squidward or a Plankton and you're a bit of a loser, then it might be difficult. But if you're more like SpongeBob and Patrick, who just have no cares in the world, then I think it'd be pretty fun. And side note, how does Patrick live his life? Like, at all? I know it's hinted at in some episodes that SpongeBob gives Patrick food and buys Patrick food and stuff, but how does Patrick live? He does literally nothing. Sounds like a pretty good life if you ask me. Moving on, I've combined two of my favourite TV shows, Recess and The Inbetweeners, because they have the same sort of ideas. Now, don't get me wrong, in some aspects, Recess, which is an old animated Disney show, and The Inbetweeners are different in many, many ways. But it's similar in the way that it's at school and it's just their friends overcoming things and finding out about themselves and doing challenges. So I think I could do that pretty well because literally, I'm living the life. 5 to 10 years ago, I was living the life of Recess, and now I am literally living the life of The Inbetweeners. In fact, our little friend group has been labelled by us, really, as The Inbetweeners, which makes it even better because it was labelled by us, and that's a pretty in-betweenerish thing to do. I would be Simon because he's relatively normal. Josh Osborne, my friend, would be Will because he is a total nerd and he's just perfect for that role. Dave, who you've seen in a couple of my videos, would be Jay because, oh my gosh, he's just so Jay in some of the things that he says. And Steve, even though he's short, he'd be like the Neil character, the kind of dippy, funny one. Even though Steve's quite smart, it'd still be a pretty good fit. So yeah, I'm gonna give that a 9 out of 10 for survival. Not 10 because I'm kind of struggling right now to survive and function in that society. But hey, I've still managed to make videos every day, so hats off to me. My next TV show is a show that I have spent probably more time than any other TV show apart from SpongeBob watching, and that is Pokemon. Every single weekend morning a few years ago, I would watch Pokemon with my brother, and then when I discovered that site that I spoke about a few days ago in Vlogmas, where I could watch every single Pokemon episode, I watched that religiously. Not to mention me playing the games and all the things like that. Surviving in that world isn't a question. That is something that I've wanted to do ever since I got my hands on the first Pokemon game. So for over 10 years, I've wanted Pokemon to be real. I would love to be a Pokemon trainer. If someone came up to me right now, I would definitely go for it. And if you wouldn't, then you're definitely lying to yourself. Literally, I've always thought if I had a Pokemon, I would not do anything else. I would train it all the time to truly be the very best. I think I would do so well in that sort of universe. I think it would be amazing. Now, on the list, I have got Disney Channel shows like Kim Possible, Lizzie McGuire, Phil of the Future, Hannah Montana, and they're all pretty similar. They just all kind of go to school, do different things. Obviously, Kim Possible's a spy, Hannah Montana's a pop star, but you know, they're all quite similar. Wizards of Waverly Place, however, I think that would be awesome. In a similar way to Pokemon, I feel like I would just practice so much at doing spells and making magic that I would probably just be the best wizard ever, let's be honest. I love how the Wizards of Waverly Place toyed with the idea of being in a wizarding world as well as in an actual world of reality. It kind of mashed up what every single child watching Disney Channel wanted to be, a wizard who also lived a normal life and could do both at the same time. But inevitably, like in the TV show, I would get things wrong, and that's where the fun would come in. But in terms of survival, I think I'd be alright unless I made some really terrible enemies. Now, the final one on this list is, again, one of my favourite TV shows, otherwise it wouldn't be on this list, and that is Merlin. Now, about a week and a half ago in Vlogmas, I spoke about my favourite books and how my favourite book series of all time was The Squire's Tales. Well, the BBC show Merlin takes place in the same time period, so they both come hand in hand, and I would absolutely love to live in that time period. Obviously, there's like disease and poor sanitation and tyrannical rulers and stuff that deter me from doing that, but there are a lot of plus sides. I would love to be a knight and learn how to fight and do all that and fight in competitions, not necessarily in cold, hard combat, because, you know, I hear from history textbooks that's pretty brutal stuff. Or perhaps go down the wizarding route. That would be awesome in the same way that Wizards of Waverly Place would be awesome. I would love to learn magic and do spells, but keep it secret because, you know, the evil king will kill the witch and stuff like that. So survival may not be as good in Merlin. I'd probably die quite soon on, but while I'm there, it'll probably be quite fun, you know? So yeah, that's that. Overall, my survival rates are pretty good in the worlds that I'm familiar with, but worlds like Merlin, I'd probably struggle. So let me know in the comments what your favourite TV shows are. Do you watch the same shows that I watch? Because I know that there are a lot of shows out there that I haven't watched, like Adventure Time, things like that. I've not gone anywhere near that. So is there anything that you watch that maybe I don't watch that you want to tell me about? And like I said at the beginning of this video, Amazing Phil inspired the idea for this video, so I'll leave the original video in the description below. Be sure to go check that out if you haven't, but I assume that you already have. But that's it from me, and I will see you again in tomorrow's video, which, yes, you guessed it, is going to be another 10 things you never thought about. So get excited. Bye, guys!